Hey, good evening, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. I know it's a Sabbath, but man, just like Jesus said, Sabbath was made for man, not made for Sabbath, not man made for Sabbath. That's why he healed that guy on the Sabbath. And I don't want to be like the hypocrites he was talking about, where if my sheep was in a ditch or in trouble, that I would not save his life. The information has changed, guys. It has been a very significant enhanced risk for tornadoes today and into this evening. So I had to update you. I had no choice. I know lives are going to be at risk. Now, the National Weather Service has upgraded the whole area for tornadoes for Oklahoma as well as Texas. And I'm showing that is going to irritate and possibilities for tornadoes in northeast New Mexico as well. Now, the green area you see here, this is a 2% chance. The dark green is the 5% chance. Then you also got the 10% chance in this yellow. But now you got this very enhanced risk of 15% chance and this dark yellow from Amarillo to Childress. And I'm showing that this actually will go more of a northeast chance with this towards Woodward and Elk City for Oklahoma as well. These storms also are going to brew up into Kansas City and Nebraska as well. Now, it's going to be some severe flooding that will happen for Nebraska on the east, while Nebraska will be getting rainfall, but it's going to turn into heavy snowfall on the west. So it will be a later change. I will show that. But Kansas also, you're going to be in the risk for heavy flooding that's going to be going on. And this right here is your hail probabilities. All the way in this brown is your 5%. This yellow is your 10%. But this dark yellow is your 15% chance for hail, for large hail. So please be aware of that. As well as the winds. You will be in some high winds for Texas, Oklahoma, and lower Kansas. I will show you that as well. Now, the areas for significant tornado opportunity to happen today is below Lubbock, right near 84 and Highway 380, all the way up to the very top of the panhandle of Texas and lower Kansas. That's your most area that a tornado will happen today. And the hail, as far as large hail, because it will be a supercell that'll be going on with this big system, is all the way from the upper panhandle of Texas, but it goes all the way down below Midland for your hail, because these storms will brew up later in the afternoon and spread south into Texas. And not only the hail down there, they will have significant winds and wind gusts that'll be going on, and that's going to go all the way up to Sayre as well. So there will be a very extreme severe weather today. If you look right at 3 p.m., you can see these very good cells with very good hail cores inside of them going all across northern Texas. And you will see these as the day goes along, move along with very strong intensity, especially by Amarillo. These cells are very much popping up and it'll be very strong. Look, that's a nice little kidney bean right there. You need to watch out for them little cells that do that. Now, as it goes into 6 o'clock this evening, you can see it strengthens back up again in northeast Texas to some very strong hail cores. So this will be some very large hail that comes out of this system, and it will stretch all the way to Oklahoma with the severe rain. But the worst of the hail will go all the way until 7 or 8 p.m. for Woodward. West of Woodward, there'll be cells all the way till 8 p.m. tonight. While you still got them all around Shamrock, Wheeler. Northern Panhandle of Texas is going to have cells all night long. And it's going to be really strong come 7 p.m. You're going to have multiple cells with very good hail cores stretching from the Panhandle of Texas all the way down to Fort Stockton, well below Midland. So you need to watch out for tornadoes, especially around 7 p.m. across all of Texas. Then once you reach around 8 p.m., you still have some cells in southern Texas while you have some by Abilene. So these tornadoes can go all evening long, guys. And then I'm showing also that it stays strong right around 8:45, 9 o'clock for some more cells north of Abilene as the strength starts weakening and heading north. So make sure after you see what you need to see that you click to the end of the video, because I want to pray for every single one of you. Whether you like me or not, I want to pray for you and your family that you will be safe during these times. Now the two videos that I have for you today is on the very top. You have the STP, which is significant tornado perimeters, which shows the best growth and time that significant tornadoes can grow in this severe weather. And you will see it break up real big, and then you'll see it die off later on this evening. The one right above my head is showing you very high resolution radar. It's showing you 0.75. It's a lot better than this regular high resolution rapid refresh. It's very accurate. If you look at it very closely, I have it going slow for you and I will show you, you'll see a lot of kidney bean shaped cells in there. And a lot of these shells does have a lot of helicity, a lot of updraft, a lot of convection with it, that it will be tornadoes. And so far, people that are without power is Texas at 6,800, California, you're still 5,500 with all these systems coming in from the west. Oklahoma 4,700, Michigan 1,700, and Georgia at 1,400. And it will grow as the system moves more east and spreads out more across the central U.S. to the Midwest. This system will blow up come Sunday evening to Monday morning. It's going to spread a lot larger of an area. I will update that in the morning. I also will put this link in the description, guys, and it will be right above the timestamps. And to save you time, always go to the timestamps to see which area or what you would need to see about this video. This one's mostly going to focus about the tornado threat that we have this afternoon for Texas, Oklahoma, and the heavy flooding that will occur after towards Kansas and Nebraska. But you can see at any time you watch this video, you click on that link, it will update every time you click on it. And in the yellow is your tornado warning areas. Now, National Weather Service has put an issue for a tornado warning for New Mexico counties, including Curry, Quay, and Roosevelt. As far as Texas goes, as far as Bailey, Deaf Smith, Lamb, Oldham, Randall, Castro, Hale, Lubbock, Palmer, Swisher, Cochran, Hockley, Moore, and Potter, you are in the risk for tornadoes. Now, your time and date is up here on the top left, and if you've never been here before, hello, my name is Mark. I upload every single day, so please subscribe. But this is your reflectivity, so you can see everything going on with this storm. And not only is it going to start to create the big snowfall for Colorado and Wyoming, but this is bringing a lot of energy. And you can see the center of the low pressure right here next to Texas. And this is what's causing a lot of the problems, because the closer you are to the center of this low pressure system, the tightly wound the vorticity is getting. So this is really dragging over the Texas panhandle, and it's pulling all that energy to it. But it will leave eventually. Now, this is right at noon today, and it really around 2 or 3 o'clock is when it starts ramping up. And right when you get going with the day, you can see it starts pulling these storms and creating this big line of storms that will be happening for tornadoes. And each one of these cells, I will do a better look for that for you. But each one of these cells has a chance, especially the kidney bean ones, has a chance to be a tornado today, as this low pressure dances around and creates all this vorticity in the area. But eventually the low pressure system will leave the panhandle of Texas around 2 to 3 p.m. this afternoon. And when it moves away, it won't be such a big risk of the vorticity down in this area no more for the panhandle of Texas or for Oklahoma. And another thing this storm is going to do is it's going to bring heavy rainfall to Kansas as well as Nebraska. And Nebraska, I think, is going to get the heaviest. The big bulk of it is headed right for Nebraska, and it's not towards the freezing temperatures for the snow. The center low pressure keeps pulling up, it keeps dancing around, but it keeps heading north to northeast. And you can see the long bands that is going into Kansas and then going into Nebraska. Now, Nebraska, you're frozen on the western side. But on the eastern side, you're still warm temperatures, high 30s, almost 40s. And all this rain is going to add up into a flooding situation for you. Now, the main thing that's going to cause this is when this cold air comes in and it comes with this system towards this warm air that we have, it's going to create a battle. And as soon as that dry line moves over to the east, it's going to clash and create storms with a lot of lift. And as you can go through the day, and when it gets around 2 p.m. is when it gets a real strong supercell formation. And not only does it have a good chance for tornadoes at that time, you have big significant hail from 2 3/4 to over 4 inches that is possible. And as you see the temperatures battle right there on the left side of the panhandle of Texas, you'll see it move over and it's still battling. You have winds coming to the east from the storm system coming, and you have winds headed north. And you can see the opposite direction, and what that does is it hits it and creates a spin. It gets your rotation that you need. And these winds stay northern because it's pulling into the system all the way until it moves all afternoon. You have winds headed north while you have other winds headed to the east. And this clash is creating the rotation. And as you move into later this evening, the winds really start to pop up right here towards Oklahoma, while the winds are still headed directly east from the storm system. So this is still clashing all evening long. And then when you get it later on until tonight is when they all start agreeing on a north pull from the system pulling away. And it will all start headed north, and it won't be the different clashes of the winds. So this will go away later, but until then it'll be very intense. And when you look at your bulk shear to see that how strong these winds are, they are very strong. They are well over 100 knots the whole time. Matter of fact, it started earlier today over New Mexico, and this is carrying all the way over into Texas, into Oklahoma, and this is bringing a lot of wind gusts as well. So you're going to watch out for the winds. And as you get into later tonight, around 9 p.m. Central Time, you still see the winds are bringing very strong bulk shear. It's moving over the eastern half of the Texas Panhandle now, all the way until tomorrow morning before it starts losing its shear. It stays strong. Look at that. There's a second round of shear that will pop up. And I'm showing that there is a second round of wind shear that could pop up early in the morning in between 6 and 9 a.m. So be aware of that. But literally at 10 o'clock this morning, it started for New Mexico, all this wind shear as this system was pulling in. And it gets around 50, 67 miles per hour wind gusts over New Mexico. And this is all morning long. And now we're getting into the afternoon where it's carrying over into Texas and Oklahoma. And then it eventually dies down. But I'm showing also for tomorrow in New Mexico that these winds will bulk back up for you come 9 o'clock in the morning. So please be aware that you will have 60 to almost 74 miles per hour wind gusts. That's hurricane force wind gusts. And that's very dangerous. And it's going to be traveling all across New Mexico, and it's going to head towards Texas as well. But look how it expands out come 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So New Mexico, not only do we have to worry about this flooding and this tornadoes, y'all need to worry about some serious wind damage from these wind gusts that's going to be passing through. 75 miles per hour right there. This is going to be very dangerous wind gusts that you need to watch out for. This will be hurricane strength. Now here's a broader look so you can see it come from New Mexico along with Texas, as well as from northern Mexico is where the winds are starting to build up. And it comes all the way up into New Mexico and Texas, especially southern Texas. And these are all 50 miles per hour winds. Here's the scale right here. The darker the yellow, the higher the 50s. Once you get into that almost brown color like right here, it gets around 60. So you need to watch out for that. Now around 2-3 p.m. today, these wind gusts will start picking up. It's already in lower Texas all morning long, but now it's starting to get some very strong cells of 60, almost 70 miles per hour that you need to watch out for, because these high winds with these cells could twist up to a tornado very easily. And there's a lot of bends, a lot of kidney beans that are in this very damaging winds. And it carries all the way south to southern Texas. So these storms will expand out. As well as Oklahoma, you definitely have to watch out. These winds will be anywhere from 50 to 70 something miles per hour winds that will be gusting through. Now here's a closer look for you, Texas, right at 2 p.m. You see these wind gusts start to pop up, and then it starts getting into the 60s miles per hour wind gusts. And each one of these could very well be next to a cell where it's going to spur up a tornado. So you need to watch out for that very seriously. You need almost 70 miles per hour wind gusts for you, Texas. And it's going to be all evening long. By 7 p.m., you're still going to have 60 miles per hour wind gusts still going around. And you see these kidney bean shapes? You need to watch out for that most. That's where you see the storm fumbles over itself, and it creates a debris ball and creates a tornado with these winds. So you got to watch out, especially when the winds are going in opposite directions. It will rotate. And then later on into midnight, it does get in Oklahoma before it dies down later in the morning. But Oklahoma, you still have the problem after it leaves Texas at 10 o'clock tonight all the way until midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning with these wind gusts. And the dew points is very strong. If you see this right here, this gray is cold air. And you can see the cold, dry air that comes in and clashes with these very high dew points right here. And when they meet together, that's where it's going to get your spin, your rotation of the two winds clashing with heavy moisture. And it's just going to create these tornadoes that you will be having this afternoon. The perimeters are way too high is way too definite. There definitely will be some tornadoes this afternoon that we need to watch out for. Now here's a closer look so you can see the dry line coming in with the high dew points for the Panhandle of Texas. And right around 3 p.m., these dew points stretch way out and it meets up. And then this is where the clash is. This is where you're going to see a lot of the activity. 3, 4 p.m., 5, 6, very high dew points. And then these dew points get very high into lower Kansas as well. So you got to watch out for spin-ups as well as Oklahoma, not just Texas. But these high dew points is what's really going to help with this dry line create these storms. There's going to be storms all the way until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then 3 o'clock, it finally starts dying down. Now, as we start, and you see how we go into noontime, this is for New Mexico, because they're in the warning as well. Even though they're not quite in the circle, they are. They have all the perimeters that you need for this problem. Matter of fact, it's starting to notice a particularly dangerous tornado possibility starting at noon today with a very nasty hail core. And these cells will move over towards Texas and Oklahoma as well. And right from the view from Texas, you can see right around 2 p.m., these cells start popping up, and they have some very nice kidney bean shapes to them, every single one of them. And look at the hail cores that is in every single one of these cells. I mean, right here alone, we're counting 8 or 9 cells that are very strong. And you can see that also the track that each one has to be a potentially dangerous tornado. And as we go through this afternoon, you can see it gets towards southeast towards Amarillo and Dalhart. And it gets into Oklahoma as well. So this track goes very well across multiple states. And these are very long track tornadoes with very good hail cores within them. So you have very good strength. You have very large hail dropping out of these tornadoes. It can be anywhere from 2 to 4 inches the whole time. This is at 8 o'clock tonight. You're still having problems all the way in Elk City. And then by 9 o'clock tonight, you still have some good cells with some good hail cores, but it starts winding down. By 10 and 11, it gets really, really weak. And then as it gets in Oklahoma for 1 o'clock in the morning is when it starts calming down. So you got to watch out past 7. This is definitely going to go into midnight. Now, if you look at your CAPE values that are coming, that gives you the convective energy to strengthen and stay going on what they're going to do. You can see right around noontime, it starts building some strong CAPE values of over 2,500 joules per kilogram. Now, 1,000 joules is a very strong thunderstorm, and these are going to be at 2,500. And then once you get around 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., it really intensifies. And by 4 p.m., you are looking at over 3,000 to 3,200 joules per kilogram. And this will be anywhere from the very lower of the panhandle covering the whole top. The whole panhandle needs to watch out for tornadoes. And as you go into this afternoon, all the way to 5 p.m., you have almost 3,400 joules. And then by 6 p.m., it starts dying down. And then by 7, 8 o'clock, that's when the National Weather Service says the warning is until 7. And if you look at the updraft helicity, which shows lift, you can see that right around 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., this cell right here on the North Panhandle of Texas that comes from New Mexico, that's a very dangerous one. That one also had a long track to be a tornado. You need to watch out for that cell. But the cells start popping up really strong towards the Panhandle of Texas. And then when you go from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. is when your most intense chance for updraft in these cells will be. And you can see it starts getting a little bit southern as you get to 6 and 7 p.m. Then it starts dying out as the cells reach 9 p.m. for Oklahoma. And from the storms, after it does this tonight and it spreads out across Kansas and Nebraska and other states, Missouri, Iowa, y'all going to get the rain as well. I will update this in the morning. All them rains with that heavy rain I showed you that's going to be heading for eastern Nebraska, it's going to get up to 4 or 5 inches of rainfall. So that could be a significant flooding event that's going to happen there. Matter of fact, this did intensify very quickly overnight. And late last night, we did have 3 tornadoes. We have one that was close to Lubbock, right north of Shallow Water. We have another one that was right north of Rawls, with the third one that was right above Dumont. So there was 3 tornadoes that we did get late last night that did affect people. So God bless all of you that was in that. I bet that was a very scary event. All right, so I appreciate y'all watching the video. Support my channel. God bless every single one of you. I hope everybody will be okay through this. It will be some dangerous times. That's without a doubt. There's just too much evidence to prove otherwise. Please, if you know someone in this area, please share this video on social media. Alert them to the intensity that will happen this afternoon. That's happening now, but it will get worse as the day goes along today. But I'm going to play this for you so y'all can see it in motion. I got it going pretty slow. I got it covering the whole country. So not only for the snowfall that you will have, and there will be another storm coming from the west coast that will put a lot more flood and rain for California and Oregon. So please keep an eye open, because this storm is causing a lot of damage, not just this tornado threat that we're having tonight. But God bless every single one of you. I pray you and your families will be safe. I want to pray for protection for you and your families. Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet, because He hath set His love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him, and show him my salvation. Amen. God bless you all this evening. I hope you have a very safe and a very good night. All glory does go to God, God of Jacob. Amen.